Hi, and welcome to HUR at Home. I'm your host, Angela Stribling. It's Thursday night. It's music night. I could not wait to get here and talk to you. I hope you're all safe and warm. Today was a little crazy if you're in the DMV. It was kind of snowy and icy. The roads were treacherous, but hopefully you are comfortable at home and being safe. And whenever you think we've got problems here with the weather, just pray for our brothers and sisters in Texas because they are really going through it. But you know what? It's all going to work out. I'm prayerful about that. I am so happy to see you and so happy to meet our musical guest. Let me just tell you, I know a little bit about him. I know I love his music, and I know he's from Georgia, comes from a relatively big family. Let's see, a middle child, born in September, and he's got a great CD that's out, actually an EP, and we've been blowing up his music on WHUR, so I already know you love him. To fill in the blanks on everything he's been up to, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alex Harris. Yes. It's okay, one person clapping, but people are clapping at home. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great, Angela. And I must first say thank you all for playing the music at WHUR. We really love you, DC. And we thank all of the support that we're getting from you all.
Oh, yeah. You're very welcome. And, you know, if I'm being honest, the powers that be are making sure that we play your music. That's our program director, Al Payne, and our music director and assistant program director, Tracy Luttrell.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, we are so happy about it. So let's talk about you. I mean, I've got questions. And I also have congratulations to you because you're blowing up. You know,
Thank you.
Not a lot of people heard about Alex Harris on the radio in the past, but now you hear and people are like, okay, Alex Harris. So let's talk about your road to getting here.
Thank you.
Big family, started singing, if I'm not mistaken, at age 7 with your family members?
Yes, I started singing in my parents' church with my brothers and sisters. And from there, we formed a family group. We were known as A Boys and Girls.
The letter A?
The letter A, because all the brothers' name, we had an A, is Antipas, Antonio, Alonzo, Arceus, Andronicus, Alex.
Wow, these names. Andronicus, where are these names coming from?
Well, both parents are educators, and my dad was an educator and taught English, and so he was definitely much in the language. But Andronicus and Antipas are in the Bible. He's parents are pastors in Manchester, Georgia, small congregation where they started, and so that's kind of that. Yeah.
Both parents pastors.
Yeah, well, mother didn't pass. She didn't is not ordained minister, but she passed the education ministry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that might explain some of your theology background. I was looking, you received your master's in theology and social work from Boston University, extended graduate study in adolescent counseling at Harvard, recently finished your doctorate in organizational leadership at Nova Southeastern University. Okay, so singing wasn't always the dream. What were you going for?
No, singing has always been part of the journey and never stopped, but we just believe that we should utilize all our gifts, and that's something that our parents instilled into all of us. So whether we pursued music, we didn't necessarily, I never looked at it. And my brothers, I think, and sisters would say the same, that we never looked at expanding our intellectual abilities by pursuing higher education would be just an alternative of something to fall back on, but something to complement whatever we decided to do. Be it music or, teaching or entrepreneurship, whatever the path may be. And for me, so it's been just expanding and utilizing all my gifts and talents.
And I love that so much because that's not normally the case. Usually people will study a certain, in a certain area because that's going to be their career choice. So going the route that you're going, which, it's kind of unique, how has that served you? How has that helped you as an artist?
I think as an artist, because I'm a writer as well. So not only do I sing and perform, but I write and produce music as well. So, and I'm co-producing and actually working alongside one of my brothers who's doing extremely well as well on
As
this
an
record.
artist?
RC, yeah, well, yeah, he's a producer,
Okay.
producing artist. Yeah, but he's phenomenal. But I will say that my academics and my journey has contributes today a lot to what I do, not just on the music side, but as a performer, but on the music side as it relates to expanding into my foundation called the Arts Conservatory for Teens, helping a lot of underprivileged, underserved young people in my area, which is in Florida, and really building a model that can be scaled and throughout the world if it's embraced by other communities. So we built that with my team here, and my academics and music background has contributed a lot to that.
I
As a
bet.
writer, yeah, and as a writer, I think it really helps me look and think about stories differently when really wanting to tell a story around love or to offer something where it's healing. It really looks at it differently. It's not just saying, let's just tell my experience, but it's a lot of thought process, a lot of psychology go into how do I want to convey this message to really address this kind of, or to get this kind of emotional reaction. Is a
Mm,
better way of saying it.
yeah.
I think it's a science to music. People talk about the sciences and um, about math, reading, and all of that. But I think they and look at music and say, well, put STEAM, put the A in it. I think whether you put the A in it or not, arts. I mean, it is science. It is a science to us all, you know. And so I think it's very much is a part, regardless of what subject matter you are focused on as you continue to excel in academics. It is very much integrated because we are music, we are beat, we are rhythm, we are sound, we are melody as human beings, and so it's inseparable. And I think we now look at it only as in a silo as music entertainment industry. I see the world, the universe as music, and because
Mm.
of for the reasons I stated earlier.
Yeah, wow. It's nice just looking at music through your eyes right now and just, right? I mean, because it is an art form and it definitely is a science, and people approach it in different ways.
Right.
All beautiful. The end result is still the same. So you
Right.
want to communicate this idea and this feeling to whoever is listening. And I love how you're able to use your background and just who you are to pour
Right.
it into music. One of the questions I had for you was, okay, you grew up in a religious gospel music background.
Right.
Why not go that route?
Well, I think that music in and of itself is good news.
Hmm.
I think we limit ourselves when we confine to a specific genre or something that only we don't own it as human beings. It's a gift to humanity. So I think we grapple and try and label and say this music belongs here and this music belongs here. I think all music comes from the creator, who I recognize as God, who's a gift to humanity. And I think when we try and own something, right, through a label, which to me is the best we can do in an expression to say the greatness and which honors that. And so when in an expanded understanding, right, of my faith, I understand that I can't limit or control and the stories that I'm giving to share or to reflect to stimulate goodness in our existence as human beings is what I am here for and how the gifts should be used. Not to say, and I do understand label. I
Hmm.
think we label things just to have identity. Like I'm Alex Harris, you're Angela, right?
Right.
This is WHUR.
Yeah.
However, that's not who or what it is in its essence and existence. That's just for surface identity, right? But at its core, when it comes to one of the most powerful elements of the universe, I think we must look and reach beneath that and seek to how can we engage it and best express and with our experiences through life. And so I'm not confined to just pursuing it in one identified genre. I do all of it.
I love
I'm
that.
just a singer.
And
Yeah,
your answer, even though, you said it in a different way, you echo most artists. I mean, most artists don't want to be put in a box,
right,
they don't want to be defined as one way or the other. But
right,
as you know, in this industry, you're going to be defined whether
right,
you do or
right.
not. The
Exactly.
stations that
And that's
play.
understandable, and that's understandable. But I respond that way just to try and invite a more expanded understanding, saying I do understand and I use labels as I refer to my name.
Yeah,
But that's not who I am. That's an expression for
exactly.
you to identify me.
And also, to that point, you find a way to bring the spirituality and to bring all of those messages into
Right.
your R&B or whatever they're going to call your music. You're
Oh,
putting it all in there. Soul
right.
music. You know what? It's funny that you say that, because listening to your song, especially Falling for You, when I listened to your voice the first time I heard it on WHUR, I was thinking, wow, this sounds like something, my mom would listen to back in the day, but updated. I mean, there was a song, a real old song by, I think it was an old group called the Winstons or something like that. Color Me Father. I don't know if you ever heard that song.
I haven't heard. I will look it up though.
I want you to listen to it, because the vibe of the song, even your tone, reminds me, of the throwbacks of that. That whole, I don't know why that song, when I was listening to you, I was like, his voice and his style is kind of, in that era, which is, it's beautiful. I mean, it's timeless music. And I mean, you don't sound like the old song. You sound like 2021, but the soul in your music, it
Right.
just cuts through. So
Thank you.
you're very welcome. And that was from the heart, and a very high compliment, because I think a lot of artists strive to get there, and, some hit it and some don't. Who would you say your influences are?
Oh, my influences are many, but I would say early on I was greatly influenced by a lot of the gospel greats from quartet, because we're from the South, and folks like the gospel keynotes, the Will Neal Johnson and the Violinaires, the Mighty Clouds of Joy, and these are artists that our parents would introduce us to, because we were not allowed to listen to anything but gospel.
Oh, it was like
And
that.
yeah, it was very, very strict. And so later we were introduced to Al Green when he was only
Oh,
doing
yes.
gospel, and then yeah, and became a great influence. People though would say that, oh, you remind me of James Brown or Michael Jackson, but we never saw Michael Jackson in the Jackson Five
Oh, no.
until later. Until later.
Oh, Alex, that
So
is
the,
just not right.
and
I'm
so
sorry.
and later, but for a number of reasons too. One was small town and limited. Our radio stations were not, it was mostly like country and southern gospel and some jazz. We didn't really have a lot of other genres at that time, music. So that was good too, I guess, for the rules at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but as we grew older, became teenagers, we were introduced to other genres of music, and some of the brothers actually majored in music, creative music technology, and of course, our I studied classical music, vocal performance later, and so our palette for musical taste definitely broadened, and our engagement and curiosity of exploring it and then making it our own became greater over time. So, but our influences expand across the board. I mean,
That's
later
beautiful.
Aretha Franklin, later Sam Cooke, um,
Mm.
uh, Otis Redding. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so
I could
a lot
definitely
of a lot of the classic
soul,
soul singers. Yeah,
the soul
and
singers.
of course, I'm inspired by a lot of creatives today. I'm always engaging inspiration.
That's beautiful. You know what? I don't know. Excuse me. I was not looking at all of the people who were pouring out this love for you. The comments. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
really?
Yes,
Hello,
we've got.
everybody.
Oh, they're saying hi to you, Feather Brown. I'm clapping. Isabel from Dubai.
Oh,
She is a
wow.
fan.
Hello,
Yes.
everybody.
Sean, I love Black success. Education never fails. You've got that right. Feather says hello. Johnny May says hello.
Hello.
John Black, thanks for sharing. Roger is a
Thank
brilliant
you.
artist. I see your art behind you. You see my art behind me.
Yes, I see it. It's
You
really
see
nice.
that?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
this artist who is on here,
Oh,
Roger
wow.
James. He's
Roger
amazing.
James, great artwork.
John says, thanks for sharing. Anthony, can you see these
I
comments?
can't see the comments.
Do you listen to genres of
Oh, I see
music
it
that
now.
would
Yeah.
surprise anyone?
Do you listen? Oh, country music.
Yep, there's a surprise.
That
Wasn't
would
expecting
be a
that.
surprise. I figured.
But
I
you
mean,
did
pretty much
say
covered other
growing
genres
up.
other than heavy metal. But yeah, but country music because of the stories, and I think and learning more of Ray Charles, who's
Mm,
another inspiration I didn't
oh,
name earlier.
yes.
Um, was on the cusp of Georgia and Florida. So he listened to and did a whole country album, and I think what he proves that that was his first gold album. Then before we start, naming them platinum, right? And
Oh,
Ray Charles, that was his biggest record. And the interesting thing is, he really dared to do something, especially during that time when he was in his quote unquote heyday, if you will. Um, that was very uncommon for
full of
black
color.
artists. Period. Yeah, to do country music, but he dared to take country songs, and he did an entire album. That was his first gold album, and he did it again. And he really was into the stories, and I love the stories. And I say that it's not confined. I did it, and if I were to sing a country song,
I was going to
which
ask
I
you, is
did do
that
one.
where you're, do you think you might?
Well, I did one that was written by a country artist and recorded by a country. It's called Millionaire. It's out.
Oh,
But I did my interpretation
yeah, I didn't
of
say
the
country.
song. Yeah, and we're exploring all songs in different genres. But the thing is, as I share with any artist and those who are in my foundation who are performers, singers, so you have to make it your own.
Mhm.
I did a whole lecture in South Korea at the Seoul Music Institute about development of personal style. So you can hear and you can be inspired by someone else, but I bring to the table who I am,
Yeah,
what made me who I am.
yeah.
A Southern boy from Manchester, Georgia. I like to refer as the Red Clay Hills of Georgia, and a small country town, 3 traffic lights,
Oh,
big
my.
family of 8. All of that comes to my interpretation or an expression of what I hear, feel, or what I write, and that's because I believe what's from the heart and soul reaches the heart and soul. And so a lot of times people are inspired by this artist, that artist, and then I've seen throughout my travels artists they will seek to mimic or not necessarily be authentic, but it's okay to be inspired. It's great to be
But
inspired.
don't mimic.
Yeah, don't mimic and don't and just be who you are, right? And let your find your voice and find your let your experience come to the forefront of your
And that's the
expression.
thing. That is exactly the thing because, I don't blame artists who, you know, early in their career, they're mimicking. I mean, that's how you learn. But
Right,
at
right,
some point, your, like you said, your own voice and your own style will come through and
right.
just trust that. Jennifer says, hello, Angela and Alex. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Marvin says, what's up?
Hello,
Okay.
Marvin.
So you are also an actor. Tell us about that.
I should say I started acting when I was very young. We would do stage plays, and later I got into acting when I was asked to sing in shows and stage shows, and I've had
Oh,
a
that's
chance to do
nice.
some really cool. Yeah, I've had a chance to do some really cool acting alongside some phenomenal actors,
Like
and
who? Anyone that
like
you,
Leon. Yeah, remember Leon Roberts? Yeah,
of
he's
course.
amazing. Yeah, so we did a run together for a stage play called Preaching to the Pastors. He was a pastor and I was the evangelist.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, that had to be fun.
it was a lot of fun. And that was my probably biggest acting thing outside of doing some commercial stuff. And, but
Do you have the
so I've
bug?
learned, I'm sorry.
Do you have the acting bug? Do you want to do more?
Um, right now, I think I want to be more on the directing side. I have
Ah,
a lot of cool ideas, so I have to learn how to do, I have to get that. But I am, we have some things we're working on that we'll probably come back and talk about a little bit later, though.
would love that. I love that the gray matter is in full effect. You definitely use your brain. Your approach to music, your approach to everything. And you're also on the public speaking circuit. Is that for
Yes.
the youth?
Well, I public speak. I
I see a family member. What was that?
His name is Rumi. Rumi,
Rumi.
like the art, like the poet
Oh,
Rumi. Yeah.
yes. Oh, Rumi, I need to see your face again. There was a whole lot of cuteness on this timeline. Oh my gosh. Adorable. So, okay, you're public speaking. He just came and stole the show.
I know, it's cool. So my public speaking, I speak in various schools a lot of times for young people, really about urging them on the power. There's a book called The Power of Now. I started speaking about now before I read that book. I think maybe even before it came out, because it was it 2016 or something like that. It came out. I can't remember, but
I don't
anyway,
remember. It was very
yeah,
wildly
yeah,
popular.
yeah, yeah. But mine was not about the power of now. It was just now navigating our world, and it's talk about the urgency of the urgent the urgency of the importance for students to think about the present moment. And I once used this example because I was driving and I leaned over just for a moment, just a little bit of glance to turn the radio, and I missed my turn.
Mm.
And so I was talking, so I made the point and I learned a lesson, and it made me 15 minutes later than I was supposed to
Mm.
be for this
Oh,
engagement that I was at.
I hate when that
Yeah, I
happens.
had to go all the way down and turn around. So
Oh,
the what I learned from that, and I started to share in my speaking everywhere I go, especially with students, is that we often are easily distracted in this navigation and trying to figure out where we belong in our voice.
mm.
But really lining ourselves with those who are on a path, a positive path that really starts to feed, whether you know what you want to do or you don't, but lit from our teachers, our mentors, our parents, guardians, whomever they may be. Uh, Literally 15 minutes can cause you, I'm sorry, 1 second can cause you 15 minutes, 15 years,
Yeah.
20 years, and a delay, right? So it is very important to, in this moment, to take full advantage. So I really seek to not only inspire, but to not only to motivate, but as well as empower the students in the moment. So I think inspiration, motivation, and empowerment.
I love that so much for so many reasons. I mean, you're right. Time goes so quickly.
It does.
And, people have a tendency to think, I'll get to it and procrastinate, even when it comes to pursuing your life, your goals. All right, Rumi. Did you sneeze or did you bark?
I know.
I'm not sure what that was. But yeah, I love that. Just now is the acceptable time.
It
Uh,
is.
yes, right now. John Black. Good evening, Angela and Alex. Pittsburgh in the house. I
Berg,
love
yes.
it.
How's it going? Good to see you and say hello. Thank you.
And if you guys have any questions, this is a great opportunity. You
Yes.
aspiring artist, this is the one you need to talk to because he's got a lot of answers, really good answers. Roger, finding your path in the world often takes you to unexpected places. What do you say to that?
Um, I was distracted by Roger asking if I have a screenplay done. But I don't have one done yet. But if anyone's open, we can talk.
I like that. Isabella says inspiring. You've
Thank you.
worked with a lot of great artists. Uh, what did I read? John Legend, Aretha Franklin.
Yes, that was a dream come true. I
Uh,
had a chance to go a few years ago before she transitioned into her father's church, a revival
oh,
that she
wow.
does. It's a one night thing, and I've always wanted to sing and be in her presence, and because and I was invited to be there, and it was such a great opportunity just to meet with her and sit down and dine
What
with
was
her.
she like?
Very nice lady, extremely wonderful energy, and I was just really great to be in the
Hmm,
presence and of history. When you think about soul
greatness.
music, you can't talk about soul music without talking about a few people: Miss Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles,
Oh, yeah.
James Brown.
Al
I mean, it's Al Green, Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Those
Yes.
are like the pillars, I would say, of what we call soul music today, and um, and it was just absolutely amazing. And I had a chance to meet Al Green as well. So the living legends in my time, I had a chance to meet them,
That's
at least
so
two of them.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lionel Richie. I've always
Oh
admired
my God,
Lionel Richie. Tell
very
me about
nice
that
gentleman,
experience.
extremely nice gentleman. I actually was one of the opening performers for him, and he was super nice, super humble with
How long
all
ago
of his
was this?
successes. This was just a year. Let me
Oh,
see,
not long.
what 2019 spring.
Oh, very, very cool.
Very recent. Yeah,
I
I
love it.
didn't do anything last year.
I mean, you've worked with her?
Yes, well, we
Oh,
go
I'm
back
such
for,
a fan.
yeah, we were on, I did one of her parties for the Grammy party, the year that she won. And I
Good.
performed one of the performers for that. But our, I've been knowing her before her became her.
Okay.
um,
That's funny.
the fortunate thing is about her, she's an amazing, talented person, and
Really is.
equally as beautiful as our music as a individual.
Oh, that's
And
so good to hear.
and a lot of people like you work with, I'm sure, a lot of artists and people in general, and that climb the ladder of success. And very seldom do you find that genuineness, and just extremely talented.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Oh, that's
you were
so,
in the
so,
studio, yeah, in New York. So that's really
I
great
love it. And
thing to see.
Brandy was on this
Yes,
platform close to
yes.
when we first started doing this HUR at home. And I
Really?
got
Was
to
she really?
sit with
Now
her.
we've been on the show. We've been on a couple of shows together.
Ah,
Yeah. New York and down in Miami. Yeah,
very nice.
yeah.
That's cool. And who else
And
do
we
I
were on
love?
the same. We were on the same
Oh,
holiday album. It was actually her, Brandy, Alicia Keys. It was put
oh,
out
nice.
a few years ago. I did Please Come Home for Christmas. If you look up Alex Harris, Please Come Home for Christmas, it's on that. You'll see all the artists. It was a compilation that was put together,
Oh, I'm
and
going to be
we went there to
stalking
New York
you
and
from
recorded
here.
it.
We're going to
So it was
stalk
really
all your
cool.
music. Oh, I
Thank you,
love
thank
that.
you.
Oh,
That was great.
absolutely.
Yeah,
A lot
but
of
then
fun.
that was the first thing that I did, was out on the market. Then I later would have the opportunity to start working and find an opportunity for me to put out great music like what we're doing now. So
Nice. All
it's
right.
a journey.
Anthony had another question. Do you feel a different vibe when traveling? Oh, you see it.
Oh yeah, I do feel a different vibe when traveling the East Coast. That's a great question. I would say um, uh, it's yes. To answer your question in short, yes. That's one
Yes,
word.
I do.
There is a different vibe in various parts, but even in the South, there are different from the countryside to Georgia, then going to Atlanta. It's all, or Nashville is also considered the Bible Belt, or the Southeast region, and definitely a different vibe. Even that the vibe in Florida, and it always an inspiration from either if I'm driving, I get out at the store or stopping at the convenience store, or and hear or see people's interaction with each other. All that is a part of who I am. I remember going to Boston and being inspired by we had a cousin. She's recently deceased, and we called her Nana. She's an older cousin, and when we first moved to Boston, my brothers and I, she would invite us to these different cookouts over in Dorchester, Mattapan area, and it was like they called it up south. However, uh, up
How's
south
that work?
because a lot of the Southerners migrated to the Northeast, but the culture, it was brought to the Boston, Dorchester, Mattapan area, I should say.
Mm.
Yeah, and so we
That's
felt at
true of pretty
home.
much the whole country.
Right, we felt at home. I bring that up because talking about inspiring, the different environments, it was very much inspiration or the behind a lot of songs. For example, like Entangled is not only just my upbringing in the South, but also being in other places where, even though you're in a different geographic location, when it
Hmm.
comes to
The
my
culture.
experience, obviously, the culture and celebration of family, especially in African American communities and other communities as well. However, my experience primarily has been in the African American community with the family and coming together. So songs like Entangled in the second verse is very much is reflective of my experience and going to these family reunions or cookouts on Sundays and stuff like that. And it was probably the second song I wrote about that.
So
Um, yeah,
good.
one I did with my brothers, and then this one. Yeah.
Very nice. And I'm glad to hear that your brothers are still into the
Oh
music.
yeah.
Are they all?
In different ways. Two of my brothers work directly with me as it relates to music. One is a musical director arranger. He actually is a HER's music director.
Oh,
But yeah, he does a lot of arrangement and plays on my records. I call them records.
yeah, me too.
It sounds
They're
cooler
still
than
records.
yeah. It's still, you make a record. It's
It's a
really cool.
record.
It's the record music. It's the music industry.
Yeah.
But and then the other brother, another brother, is a producer. RC is a swag. RC is. You'll see his name on our stuff. And
Nice.
then I have a brother
Love
who
these
is,
names.
yeah, and I have a brother's who's an attorney. I mean, he does entertainment law along with
Awesome.
other focus. And then a brother, he's not necessarily directly in the entertainment industry, but he's in the arts industry, literary arts. He's an author. He writes,
Good.
and he used to be, yeah.
And what
And
about the girls?
that's what I was about to say. One of the girls, she lives in D.C. She works for the
Oh,
government, and she has her own business as well. Well, she helps a lot of businesses and small and medium size in doing consulting work.
very
And
nice.
another sister lives in that are in your area.
Oh,
She lives in Richmond, Virginia.
oh yeah, that's not too far.
Yeah, not too far. And then our youngest sister is in New
There's a
York.
lot of
She
sisters.
is she's in the entertainment industry. She's up and coming as an actress, and she's done a lot of stage plays, way more than I have. And she's a singer as well. So
So
there's one sister out of the three who are still. The other two sisters didn't want to sing. Like they stopped at 13.
okay. They're like,
They only
ah,
sing once a year if I ask them to be a part of the choir when we go back home and see our parents.
how awesome. Your parents must be so proud.
Yes, they are. They're super proud of us, and we're very grateful to have our parents with us and to be able to see them at least a couple times a year
That's beautiful.
collectively. We try and get together at least twice a year. Not,
Odessa
not
says,
last year, but
I know, I need
we got
to.
together on Zoom, and
Okay, well, that helps.
yeah, that helped. Yeah, we got together I think twice on Zoom, and then um, we probably will be all together this year, hopefully.
I'm hoping and praying that I have the same opportunity with my family. Odessa says, hi. Hi, Odessa.
Hello, Odessa.
Roger, what is, oh, wait, oh, here you go. What do you enjoy more in your musical creative process? Writing the music for the song or creating the music for the song?
Oh, that's a really interesting question.
It's
I think
interesting.
writing the music, I would say in the creative process of I guess you said creative. So let me just respond this way. I think the creative process includes not only the writing part of the lyrics, or coming of lyrics, and the music, but also the delivery, right? So that's bring that part, and I think I enjoy the delivery because it's all come together out of the three. Of the two, I think I do enjoy really exploring what lyrics, how can I take a big message and simplify it enough that it's digestible, people get it immediately, and it's something that uh, is memorable. You wake
Yeah.
up tomorrow morning and be like, "Oh my God, I'm singing this song." Where did
Good.
I hear that at? Like, who is that?
Yes.
And
Plan
so
is working. Oh, so
technology part.
I love that. Okay, so before I read this next comment, are you single? Are you married? What's your situation?
Oh, I'm married. You said before you read the next question.
Right, because Rena, I hope I'm saying your name right. Hey, your guest, has a beautiful smile and teeth, and the melanin is popping. Uh-huh.
Thank
So,
you.
okay. Well, you can still accept compliments,
Oh, of course.
So I did ask the question though for you, Rena, just in case. Or that process, which is the most challenging of the process, which is the most challenging. I guess she's
Of the
piggybacking
process.
on
Okay.
Roger's question.
Of the process, which is the one most challenging. I think I think the coming up with the lyrics, and because you have to figure out like what is the message? You hear or you see something. Or I should say, I see or I hear something, and especially, I tell you, the most challenging when I'm working with another writer or two or three. I try to limit it to four total. Um, however, if I'm just by myself, it sometimes flows and is there. Even if I go back to revisit and try and rewrite, it seems like it's not flowing sometimes. And other times, for example, humanity, I started writing that 5 years ago, but it didn't really flow. And I deconstructed to reconstruct um, um, the song because it was something there. And it wasn't until the George Floyd killing and all of the protests around the world that really inspired. And I was going to, because I had grappled with um, what is it in this concept that I had written that was a song,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't it. And then one day I remember sitting, actually where I'm sitting now, and I picked up the guitar, and it just flowed,
Wow.
and it was done. And then I call, and this interesting thing, the lady who I was said I was going to write with sometime, I called her, and she didn't answer the phone, and she called back the next day. I said, "Well, I was calling yesterday because I wanted to see if you can help me with this song, but here's a song."
Good.
And I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "I think that's it." And I said, "That's what
Wow.
I think as well." And then I called my cousin, who's a writer and a multi-Grammy award-winning writer, and he's really knows writing very well. He was a great inspiration to all of us. And I said, "What do you think?" He said, "I think that is it." So I always, like to check
That's
myself, but
beautiful.
it's kind of like a folk soul song because the
Which
lyrics
song is
really.
that one?
It's called Humanity. It's on the EP, Frequency, the EP Frequency,
Mm-hmm.
and it really speaks about social justice. So the second verse talks about how I've been a victim of systems, but I learned to play by the rules. I almost lost my identity by the isms abuse. And it says victims empower. I mean, folks of empower, so they misuse power, right? All the time. The positions in power so misuse generational ignorance. It's been told as truth. And then in the last then it says
Wow.
in the refrain it says, "Will we turn and walk away and pretend that we don't see when there's an outcry in the universe for all humanity. We are human, we are human, we are human. And
How
that's the,
wonderful.
yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, it came out when it was supposed to come out.
It did, and we released it on Juneteenth. It was just kind of like like a drop in just release. We didn't do like a whole setup thing and all that, but
Hmm.
it's out there, and I've been performing. In fact, I have to perform that on Tuesday out for a memorial. It's called a lynching memorial. You
Oh,
may be familiar with that. Well, what this organization, I know that says, oh, that was a shot. That's what I said when they told me. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
like
tell me
really?
more. But
Wow.
when I understood, so lynchings happen all over the country,
Hmm.
and so the memorials are to honor those who were lynched, uh,
Wow.
and in these different cities where they've been identified where they were lynched. So
Wow.
in this area across
That's
the
a very
way
good
here, yeah, but it's about remembrance. I forget the name of the organization in its entirety, but it's the first word is remember. So
thing. I
that's all
love
good to know. And so yeah, so I'm doing the song Humanity, and so I
it.
bring
That's
it a little bit
awesome.
21st century. Yeah.
You're getting a lot of love in the comments, and
Oh,
Rena,
thank
she
you.
wasn't flirting, and but either way, Rena, thank you for just being so
Oh, no, no,
sweet.
no. That's
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
really nice. And she said she's not flirting, she was just giving you a compliment. And Jennifer said, yes, I concur. So you
Thank
are
you.
beautiful. Your skin is beautiful. Your teeth are beautiful. And
Thank you.
that is what it is. John, Angela, I have tuned in late. Please have your guest identify himself. Also, the days and airtime of your program. Okay, well, John, this is Alex Harris. Oh, well, unless you want to introduce yourself
Yeah,
for people who
no.
are just
Yeah, I'm
tuning in.
Alex Harris. No, thanks you, everyone that's tuning in now. I'm Alex Harris, and I'm guest of Angela tonight on WHUR
Here we
at
are.
home.
Yes. And, just to catch you up, John, and thank you for joining us. Feel free to text all your friends, everybody, and let them know
Yes,
what we're doing.
please do.
Although we're close to wrapping up, but we so appreciate you being here. But
Thanks
Alex,
for having me.
Alex has a new EP out. I mean, it's been out for just a few months,
Yes,
and it
for a few
really
months.
is brilliant. And I love how you're walking us through your process. How the different songs mean something. I would have never guessed that your song "Millionaire" was from a country song. I mean,
That's
you
not on the
so
EP, but
made
it's
it
out
for
there. But it's out there. Let me just say this about the EP frequency. So during this time of when we had the national lockdown,
her.
and of course in different states it happened different times, but when it was here, and even the lingering quasi lockdown or quarantine that everyone was doing, I was, we weren't going to the studios because everything stopped, as we know.
Right.
And so I was like, what are we going to do? So for a moment, reading, the stories and the feeds on social media, television, whatever, more so social media. And then I'm not a person to just get all frazzled, emotional, fear, and all that. But this is one time I think, as many people who probably never been in that space did. At least some of my friends and close colleagues did, and I was one as well for a moment, not an extended period of time, but regardless of how long or short, it happened.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. And here's the thing. In retrospect, I start when it was time to give a title to the song, the body of work that we pulled together from all the stuff, all the music that we were creating over the last year. Majority of it ended up, coming together during this time of lockdown,
Mhm.
and finishing songs that were incomplete, or recording new songs like "Falling for
Good.
You" was recorded,
You had
and the whole
time.
concept. Yeah, at the time, and so the title. So what should the title be? And I'm going to come with some other titles. I was running by the manager and my brother, who's a producer. He's really creative as well with stuff like that. And then I came with the idea of frequency. Um, and first, it was like frequency of love and something. I was like, no, just one word. So frequency, the idea and the reason for going for that title after kind of, you know, talking about it. Um, Frequencies can stimulate fear, um, courage, or make one, be courageous about certain things. But I wanted to raise something that really sends a frequency of love and hope and healing in a time when there's so much divisiveness, when there so much loss is happening, and say, what is one element that is one of the most powerful that I've been kind of echoing throughout the conversation about music. We are music. It is the connectedness that we feel with each other comes through music. Even during one of the greatest times in American history of segregation, music would bring folks together from all walks of life, and it doesn't matter, gender identity, doesn't matter socioeconomic status, how much education you have or how much education you do not have, what position you hold, where you work, what you got, who you with. It's it comes all together, and that's the thing about the beauty of the frequencies of music. And so I wanted to title it something that really represents what I really felt and what I believe to be. And so to have this in a first like debut EP to be titled Frequency, to me, it really encapsulates everything that my music is about: love, hope, healing, and that's the depth of it, and hoping to really awaken the soul awakening, throughout the universe around this reverberating sounds of love and hope and healing. And so the CD, the EP really represents. We have songs about social justice, about family, about falling in love, being in love, falling for you, rolling, entangled. There's a song that really was inspired to write and respond to the shootings that were happening in school, called "Feel Some Kind of Way." And so that song is on there, and
something from everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Even Entangled, was that the Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith?
No, people are gonna start asking that. No, actually, it was started to write. That was one song that was, well, two of the songs that I started to write before, and the rest were written during. But no, it didn't come from Jada Pinkett.
I was just wondering.
No, I knew people would ask that. No, that's cool. No, it's not entanglement.
So John said, Angela, thanks, Alex. You have a new fan. Just checked you out on YouTube. Listen.
Oh, thank you.
I want everybody to check him out. Now, we know what kind of art you like, because your CD cover kind of looks like the artwork that's right behind you.
If I can give you a little fun fact about that, it's really, no one was doing photo shoots at the time. So I talked to the manager, and I was like, well, we kind of talked about different ideas and concepts. And so what I did is from an artist who is in, I think he's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And I met him through one of the supporters of our foundation. He said, you're in the arts, and he's coming to the town, and his wife is an actress. She was in Lord of the Rings, and a lot of different things. But he's a well-renowned artist. But so we exchanged. He said, "I want to come back and do something for your students and etc." And so I said, "I know this one guy," and I'm watching what he's doing on Instagram and his style. And so I called him up, and we did a Skype, and in real time he did the.
No way.
So we said that's the EP cover.
Wait until, okay, you guys, if you haven't seen it, look at Alex right now.
We're gonna do part 2 now.
Look at the painting behind him, and then look at his cover and see what I'm talking about. It's like that painting is over your face.
Right. It's the same concept.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And for those who joined us late, like John, HUR at Home is a feature that we do almost every night of the week. We're doing something on this platform. Thursday night, it's always music, and we're lining them up. The people that we bring are people like Alex, who, some of them, their names, some of them you don't, but by the end of the conversation, a lot about their inspirations and their music. Alex, I just love talking to you. It's just
Thank you
amazing.
so much. I appreciate this time. I really appreciate that. And everyone that's listening tuned in. And thank you for your support. And if you're just finding out about what we're doing and with music, please follow me on Instagram at Alex Harris Official. You can follow me on TikTok at Alex Harris Official. You can follow me on Twitter at Alex Harris Tweet. And Facebook as well, Alex Harris Music Official. So, really,
Good.
yeah.
Well, you know what? Before we let you go, and I'm glad that you gave all of your social media because Odessa, I think you should follow Alex. Her
Yes,
question is, do you produce music? My daughter sings, and I'm interested in finding a producer for her.
yes, I do. And that what I don't, we have a whole network. So, for sure.
Nice. Very good. Alex, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you so much.
really appreciate your generosity spending all this time with us. Keep churning out all this good music.
Thank you. Look forward to coming back, and hopefully we'll be in DC sometime in person, and folks can come out after all of this. I appreciate it.
Give Rumi a big kiss for me, too.
All right.
Have a good night, Alex.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow. And thank you all for joining us on this special night. HUR at Home. I love this. And we love bringing you the freshest programming that, we do this almost every single night. What you can do is go to WHUR.com just to make sure you're not missing anything. And we have the lineup. And after the interviews like this one, it's going to live on WHUR.com. So you can just check it out. It also lives on WHUR's Facebook page and our YouTube page. So just make sure you stay connected. My show coming up Sunday night, Pillow Talk with Angela, comes on at midnight right after Manzi Pullen and the original Quiet Storm. So I would love it if you check out the show. Hit me up on my social media at Angela Stribling. Let me know what you think and keep listening and keeping us number one. 96.3 WHUR, 49 years of bringing you the best. Have a great night.